or anyone in the healthcare profession and you're just tired of working, you're just completely burnt out, and you don't know which way to go, then this video is for you. Hi, my name is Coleen. I am a registered nurse. I've been a nurse for almost 30 years. I spent the last 18 years in hospice. So my background is ICU, CCU, home health, telemetry, cardiac step down. I've done home health nursing. I've done, you name it, I've done it, except for emergency room. Okay? I love helping people. But somewhere along the line, nursing stopped being my calling and it started to destroy my body. So this is a story of how I knew that I had to leave nursing. And if you are interested in finding out my story, for 18 years, I took care of a lot of people. I held their hands, and in hospice, I don't know if you know, that it's a very emotionally and mentally draining area of nursing. But I took care of people who are at the end of their lives, and nobody tells you what it does to you mentally, emotionally. I had to deal with families who were stressed, patients that were stressed, and the emotional weight was just crushing. Every day I carried the grief of those families back home. I absorbed their pain, but at some point I just thought to myself, this can't be a good thing. Anyway, I started having physical pain. I had a back injury and I had to take medication just to get through my shifts. And that wasn't good. I know that wasn't good. So the daily pain, daily medication, and then I seeked help. I started doing physical therapy, and then I was told that I needed to have back surgery. So I did back surgery. And that was quite a few years ago. And it worked for a while, but believe me, when it stopped working, there was nothing that I could do besides just sometimes sit in my car and dread going into work. I tried so many different types of topical remedies and nothing worked. And the doctors told me that eventually I'll probably need to have surgery again. And that's when something inside me broke and I said, I just can't do this anymore. There has to be a better way. There has to be a better way. I really love nursing, but I knew at that point it just wasn't going to work for me. I thought about going into another specialty area, but there was just about not a lot of areas that involved me not having to sit or stand for long periods of time. So I didn't want to go to work anymore. I just dreaded going to work, and that was just not a good feeling for me. So I knew I had to do something. That really scared me. So I started asking myself a lot of very hard questions. And one of which is, do I really want to have another back surgery? Do I really want to keep working my body until I completely broke down? I did not want to spend the rest of my life dreading Mondays. So the answer to all of these questions was no. So what happened after that? I started looking into PRN work. I started looking at remote jobs. I even thought about leaving nursing altogether. But then I asked myself a different question. What if I didn't have to change my career? What if I just changed where I live? That's when I started looking into moving abroad, and Dominican Republic came up on my radar. I had a friend over here, he used to come back and forth, and he kept telling me how nice it was. So I decided it was time for me to visit. And that changed my whole life. So I know what you're all thinking, like, why the Dominican Republic? Isn't that for tourists and retirees? Well, there's a lot of tourists here. Dominican Republic actually last year had 11 million tourists. But here's the truth. The DR gave me something that I couldn't find in the United States. I found affordable living, a slower pace of life, and I found peace, really. I had visited and I kept coming back and forth. I actually even rented an apartment because I got an apartment here. It was a 2-bedroom, 2-bath with a pool in a gated community in a nice area for $350. And this was back in 2018 or 19, 2019, I believe. And no way I could have ever afforded to maintain two households, living in the States, maintaining one household there, and living in some other country that the cost of living was just as high as the United States. I mean, I made good money, but I didn't make that much money. So I really thought I could actually live here. So I did my research and I checked into healthcare, I checked into housing, I looked at different places, even higher end places, and the most expensive place at that time, because things have changed a bit, that I found that was really super nice was about $600 a month. So I decided, groceries, between groceries and rent and healthcare and transportation, I could live here. Transportation, a couple hundred pesos if you take the motor concha, which is a motorbike ride, which I still don't do, or if you take a Uber, depending on where you live in, or a taxi. It is very, very affordable. So after doing my research, I decided that the closer I got to retirement, which I did take an early retirement, I was just gonna go all in. I was gonna go for it. In the US, I felt like I was always running, like I was always in survival mode. I didn't have time to slow down. I was running to the job. Then when I got home, I had to do my charting. I did, work on the weekends. Sometimes I ended up, it was like I was always working. And then the weekends, if I wasn't working, I was spent resting. So here, my body just went, whew. I came and I think I slept for about a week when I finally moved. And believe me, there's a whole video that I'm going to put together about my move. But I eventually moved to Dominican Republic. I took an early retirement, and it had some challenges, it did. And I wasn't completely retired. I did stay on PRN, so I would fly back to the States, back and forth, and I would work or I would go do a travel assignment, and then I'll come back. But let me tell you what happened. My back pain got better. I did not have a second surgery so far, and I don't think I need it. I still maintain my compact nursing license, and I work PRN when I want to. But I am not grinding 40-hour plus weeks anymore. My nervous system calmed down. I had an anxiety issue. I was on medication for anxiety, PRN, whenever I needed it, and I find that I needed it less. And I'll tell you something. I eventually weaned myself off of it completely. I have not taken any anxiety medication now in over a year, so that's really good. I didn't realize how much stress I was carrying until I left the United States. I was always on edge, really. I really was always on edge. And every time I had to go back to the States, I just got so anxious. I wasn't really nervous, I got very anxious. And from the time I landed until the time that I came back, it was just run, 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 do this, do this, do this. I was always braced for that impact, whatever that might be, whatever the next crisis, whether it's on the news, whatever is going on. Now I actually love getting out of bed. My days are a lot more controlled. I plan what I'm gonna do. I'm just doing what I want to do. I really do. Some days I feel like I'm saying to myself, am I really here? Is this really my life? I know you create your own reality if you believe in metaphysics, but for 30 years I was Coleen the nurse. I let my nursing define who I was, and I realized that nursing doesn't define me, my profession doesn't define me, I define me. That was not my identity. So I'm not saying moving abroad is for everybody, but it certainly helped change the direction of my life, and it actually saved my life. I can definitely attest to that. So if you're a burnt out nurse or healthcare worker, period, because on this channel, when I first started my channel, when I first moved here, it was just all about Dominican Republic and about moving abroad and escaping the matrix and all that stuff. And now I'm really speaking to my people. And I'm not excluding anyone that watches my channel that want to reach out to me or have any questions. I'm not exclusive for healthcare workers, but I'm speaking to healthcare workers because I'm one and I know what we go through. So if you're broken, if you're burnt out, if you can relate to those long shifts and the pain, the charting, the running from room to room, especially if you still do bedside nursing. And I'm at the process right now, I'm going to tell you about this. I'm at the process not right now where I'm actually renewing my nursing license, and I freaked out yesterday when I found out, oh boy, now I have to have another fingerprint and background check, and I'm not even in the States. So I spent the entire day looking for ways to do it internationally. It just wasn't happening. So I had to get in my mindset that I'm gonna have to get on the plane, I'm gonna have to go to the States, I'm gonna have to go do my fingerprints, and then I could renew my license. So I spoke to a friend of mine and she said, no, when was the last time you had a background check? And I said, well, I did the global entry because I travel so much, and that was within the last 2 years. She said, well, check it and see. And lo and behold, it worked out. So now I can sit behind my computer and I can renew my license without having to rush back to the States. So that's just a little thing that I want to put in there. So if you're at the point where you're just beside yourself trying to figure out, what do I do now? You don't feel you can give anything more. You're trying to figure out how can I still maintain my quality of life? How can I pay my bills? What can I do? You don't have to feel guilty. I mean, there's nothing wrong with wanting something different, really. Something inside of you just tell you how much you can take. And I know when I got to that point, I knew how much I could take, and I knew that at that point I had to do something different. Really, I did. So if you're trying to figure it out and you really don't know where to start, I created a free school community. And in that community, you have access to me. You can book a free 30-minute consult with me. You will get my 30 years of nursing experience. You'll get a budget planner that will help you figure out where you are on the financial spectrum, if this is something that you could do, whether it's just a sabbatical, a vacation, let me go and check it out. You have a real community that is going to be there for you. And this is new, so we're just getting started, although I've been doing this without the school community for a while now. So I decided to make it formal. So right now, you can go visit my school community. I'm going to be posting in it daily. I'm going to be putting up classes, courses, most of which right now are free. There's no charge. And I want to give something back, and I want you to have access to me if you want to ask any questions, if you're just trying to figure out what to do. Go join my school community. The description is in the link is in my description, and just click on it and hit join, and you will become part of a community of healthcare workers, or like I said, I'm not exclusive to healthcare workers, but I'm speaking to my healthcare workers right now, especially my nurses. You can have a lot of information I'm going to be posting. You can ask me questions. You will have a community of other like-minded people who are trying to figure it out just like you, who are experiencing what you're going through, who are just, really concerned about their mental health. And that's another reason that I'm so happy that I feel like I'm the trailblazer, right? Like I've done the hard work, I've done the legwork. So you guys, talking to you, don't have to. So click the link in the description, join the community, come on over. We're gonna get this going. Watch my YouTube videos. I continue to make videos at least once or twice a week, but I do post in my community so that you can stay abreast. You won't feel like you're completely alone. Okay? So I hope this video helps someone. If you're ready to explore and you want to know what life is like outside of the United States, you're looking at somebody who's done it, who has taken the plunge. And I'm not going to say everything is all peachy, because believe me, there has been many, many challenges for me, and I've talked about it in some of my videos, and I'll continue to talk about it. but I can help you even if you just want a break. And why Dominican Republic? I chose Dominican Republic because it's close. It's close to the United States, so hour and a half, hour 45 minutes away. You don't have visa requirements technically. Thanks again for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. See you on the next video.